Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Balakrishna, Associate Professor of Chemistry, Lendi Institute of Engineering Technology. So, in the previous class, we have discussed about fractional distillation of crude oil, right? In that fractional distillation of crude oil, what we have learned is taking a crude oil and allowed that crude oil through fractional distillation column at the level of temperature nearly 400 to 450 degrees Celsius, right? So what happened is, at that temperature, the crude oil become into different fractions. They depending upon their respective boiling points, such as asphaltic residue, tar, heavy oil, lubricating oils, diesel, kerosene, petrol, petroleum ether, and condensed gases, right? So now in the entire world, the most useful fraction from crude oil is, the highest useful fraction from the crude oil is petrol. What is that? Petrol. So if we use crude oil and then fractionating that crude oil into different fractions, we will get some fractions. They are all listed above. Just imagine if you are able to convert that crude oil completely into gasoline or petrol, what will be the product? What will be the achievement? Getting my point? If you are able to convert all the crude oil into highest percentage of petrol only, okay, then it's really a great achievement, right? So actually, in that fractional distillation technique, crude oil converted into several fractions. In that fractions, we have petrol also. Take it aside. But I am not satisfied with the amount of petrol. I want some more amount of petrol. So what I think is, if I am able to convert the obtained heavy oil in the fractional distillation process, heavy oil is obtained there, right? If I am able to convert that obtained heavy oil also into petrol, then I made the amount of petrol into double, right or not? So the content of petrol increased, right? The product of petrol is increased. So why we are discussing all this? Yes, the same question should be arised in your mind also. What is the question? Crude oil can be converted into fractions. That fraction contains fraction contains uncondensed gases, petroleum ether, naphtha, diesel, kerosene, lubricating oils, heavy oil, and asphaltic residue. Okay, yeah, in that fractions petrol is there, but if we are able to convert the other fractions also into petrol, we are achieved, right? We have multiplied the quantity of petrol. Why? Because petrol is the one of the highest useful fuel in the world, right? So how to do that? Yeah, for example, generally the petrol which contains C4 to C9 carbons. C4 to C9 carbons, right? So there will be CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, okay, or in any other form carbon hydrogen chain where the carbon number may vary from 4 to 9. If the fraction contains carbon numbers ranging from 4 to 9 is called petrol. What is that? If the fraction contains carbon number ranging from 4 to 9 is called petrol. But in the case of heavy oil, what is the number of carbon? It is C13, right or not? This cannot be petrol because if the number of carbons are C13, okay, the boiling point will be very high, but petrol has less boiling point, right or not? So if the fraction contains more than C5, okay, or C10, it is not petrol. It don't have the properties like gasoline. So the fraction must and should contain carbon number ranging from C4 to C9 is called gasoline. For example, in the fractional distillation process, in the fractional distillation process, I have obtained a fraction which is C10 H22, C10 H22, right? Or C10 H20. Okay, I have obtained a fraction which is having carbons in the range of carbon and hydrogen in the range of C10 H20. Whatever it is, C10 H22 also you can take. Okay, yeah. Now, if the fraction is containing C10 number of carbons, it is not gasoline. It is not gasoline. But I don't want to let the fraction in a unuseful form, in another form other than gasoline. I don't want to let this fraction in unused form. I want to convert this fraction into gasoline because it is a widely useful fraction, widely useful fuel. So what to do? To convert this fraction into petrol, there is a condition that the petrol should contain the carbon ranging from 4 to 9 only. But here the carbon number is 10. Then what to do? We have to convert this carbon number 10 into carbon number 5 or carbon number 4, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. If you are able to convert this carbon 10 into carbon 5, okay, then you are succeeded, right? Yeah, so just check with this. If I am able to convert this into C5H10, okay, plus C5H10, right? So I got two compounds, okay, I got two fractions. The two fractions are containing carbons ranging 5, carbons having the number 5, which is in the range of C4 to C9. If the hydrocarbon chain present in the obtained fraction having the carbon number ranging from 4 to 9, then it exhibits the property, it exhibits a property kind of gasoline. That means I have converted C10H20 into C5H10 plus C5H10. That means I have converted this fraction into useful gasoline. Okay, yeah. How to convert this into this? Okay, here we can call it as gasoline. Okay, how to convert this non-gasoline fraction into gasoline? Okay, there is a process. Okay, for example, this is a long chain. Okay, see this CH3, CH2, 8 times CH3. Okay, so for example, in this case, the number of carbons are 8 plus 2, 10 number of carbons. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to break down the chain. Okay, that means see here, C, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 carbons. Okay, I want to break down this chain into 2 parts, where this is C5 and this is C5. How to break down the long hydrocarbon chain into smaller hydrocarbon chains? Here, if C10H22, if you take, okay, this is having high boiling point. Okay, but we want to convert that into smaller molecules having lower boiling points. So, here, to convert that higher boiling point into lower boiling points, okay, we need to break down that long chain into smaller chains. How can we break down? If I give you a scissors, can you cut down it? Can you cut down the bondings in between carbon to carbon in converting them into longer chain to smaller chain? Okay. If I provide you some other tool, kind of axe, can you cut down it? Manually can you do it? Physically can you do it? It is impossible. Okay. To convert the longer chain hydrocarbon into smaller chain hydrocarbon, to convert the high boiling point hydrocarbons into low boiling point hydrocarbons, to convert the non-gasoline fraction into gasoline fractions, we need to use some process. Okay, we need to use some process. The process of converting longer chain hydrocarbon into smaller chain hydrocarbons is nothing but cracking. What is that? Cracking. Cracking means breaking down of longer chain hydrocarbon from high to low. Okay, this is a long chain hydrocarbon. I have break down that into 2 parts. The process of cutting down the longer chain hydrocarbon into smaller chain hydrocarbon is nothing but cracking. So what is cracking? Cracking is nothing but a process where the higher hydrocarbon chain, the high number hydrocarbon chain converted into low number hydrocarbon chain, or the high boiling point hydrocarbon chain is converted into low boiling point hydrocarbon chain, is nothing but cracking. Is nothing but cracking. Right? Yeah. But there is a question. Sir, as you said, it is impossible to break down the hydrocarbon chain into the higher hydrocarbon chain into smaller hydrocarbon chains with the help of scissors or axe or some other tools. That means physical tools. Then how can you break down that higher hydrocarbon chain into lower hydrocarbon chains? Okay, yeah, that is the important concept which we have to learn. Okay, so this is what cracking. This is what cracking. Okay, yeah. So in this cracking process, in order to convert the higher hydrocarbon chain into lower hydrocarbon chain, okay, we need to go through one procedure. I told you, right? Yeah, we need to go through one procedure where in that process we need to apply temperature and pressure. Temperature and pressure onto the hydrocarbon chain. Okay, why? Because if we apply temperature, okay, the bonds in between carbon to carbon, okay, if van der Waals forces are there, they will become weak. Okay, by the application of temperature, the bonds become weak. At the time, by the application of pressure, the bonds will break. So, by applying temperature, pressure simultaneously, parallelly onto the hydrocarbon chain, okay, we can break down the carbon-carbon bonding. Okay, you can break down one chain into two pieces by means of what? Temperature and pressure. So by the application of temperature and pressure, converting the higher hydrocarbon chain having high boiling point into lower hydrocarbon chains with low boiling points is nothing but cracking. This is the correct definition of cracking. What is cracking? Cracking is nothing but breaking down or cutting down of higher hydrocarbon chain with high boiling point into lower hydrocarbon chains with low boiling points by the application of temperature and pressure onto it is nothing but cracking. This cracking is of two types. Okay. One is thermal cracking. The other one is catalytic cracking. Okay. What is thermal cracking? Thermal cracking is nothing but the application of temperature and pressure onto the higher hydrocarbon chain, high number hydrocarbon chain, in breaking down that into lower numbers is nothing but thermal cracking. Then what is catalytic cracking? Catalytic cracking is nothing but in order to convert the higher hydrocarbon chain into lower hydrocarbon chain, okay, we need to apply a catalyst. With the help of catalyst, if you are able to cut down the high number hydrocarbon chain into lower number hydrocarbon chains, that is catalytic cracking. With the help of temperature and pressure, if you are able to convert the higher hydrocarbon chain into lower hydrocarbon chain is nothing but thermal cracking. Again, this thermal cracking subcategorized into two. Okay, one is liquid phase thermal cracking, and vapor phase thermal cracking, What is that? the thermal cracking is subcategorized into two. One is liquid phase thermal cracking and vapor phase thermal cracking. Very good. What is liquid phase thermal cracking and what is vapor phase thermal cracking? Liquid phase thermal cracking is nothing but, thermal cracking means what? Application of temperature and pressure. Application of temperature and pressure. Okay. In this, liquid phase thermal cracking means we need to apply 400 degrees Celsius to 500 degrees Celsius temperature, okay, and 100 kg per centimeter square pressure. This is temperature, okay, and this is pressure. In the liquid phase thermal cracking, we need to give 400 to 500 degrees Celsius temperature and 100 kg per centimeter square pressure. At the level of temperature and pressure, if we are doing the thermal cracking, that is nothing but liquid phase thermal cracking. Okay. Vapor phase thermal cracking, to convert a liquid into vapor, we need to rise the temperature. It is very known, right? So now come to the vapor phase thermal cracking. Here we need to give 600 to 700 degrees Celsius temperature. When one is more, the other one should be less. Here temperature is less, pressure is more. Here temperature is high, pressure reduces. 10 kg per centimeter square pressure is applied and 600 to 700 degrees Celsius temperature is applied. If the temperature is more and the pressure is low, at the given conditions, if you do the thermal cracking, it is vapor phase thermal cracking. Okay. If the temperature is less and the pressure is high, if you are doing the thermal cracking, that is nothing but liquid phase thermal cracking. Right guys? This is about cracking. So in this cracking, what we learnt is how to convert the higher chain hydrocarbons with high boiling point into lower chain hydrocarbons with low boiling point. That can be done by using temperature and pressure. Okay. So the definition of cracking, I will explain the definition of cracking again. By the application of temperature and pressure, if the higher chain hydrocarbon having high boiling point converted into lower chain hydrocarbon with lower boiling points, the process is nothing but cracking. Cracking of two types: thermal cracking, catalytic cracking. Thermal cracking means in the presence of temperature and pressure, the cracking takes place. It is thermal cracking. Catalytic cracking is nothing but in the place of catalyst with the help of temperature and pressure. Okay. If the cracking takes place is nothing but catalytic cracking. Thermal cracking is of two types again: liquid phase thermal cracking, vapor phase thermal cracking. In the case of liquid phase thermal cracking, the cracking takes place at 400 to 500 degrees Celsius temperature and pressure is at 100 kg per centimeter square. In the case of vapor phase thermal cracking, where the temperature is high, there the temperature is 600 to 700 degrees Celsius temperature and the pressure is 10 kg per centimeter square only. This is about cracking. Right guys? So here there is an important concept. What is that? Catalytic cracking. Very, very important. This is important concept. Okay, let us see the concept in our next class. Okay, kindly note it down. Thank you.